Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be closure. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So closure, that is what many people are looking for post-narcissistic relationship. It's what many people need. You need to give yourself closure from the relationship. Remember, the narcissist will not give you closure. What the narcissist wants to do is the exact opposite. They want to leave that door open just a crack so that they can come back and hoover you, or so that you will still be thinking about them, or that the avenue of communication or communication avenues, plural, will be open. This is why on every video I create, I strongly suggest to go no contact and to block these people. Because if you still have open communication channels with them and they don't need to be opened, then you are susceptible to a hoover or susceptible to going backwards again. And that's not what we want. What we want is for you to be the beautiful, bright, shining light that you are, living life, an abundant life, a peaceful life, a drama-free life, a narcissistic relationship-free life. But as I mentioned, the thumbnail, it's closure. That's what many people want. That's what I had to give myself. And that's what you either have had to give yourself or you will give yourself. Because you see, you were in the relationship, the toxic narcissistic relationship that almost took you down for the count, but it didn't. You're one of the fortunate ones because you are here on the channel and in the community. You're getting your cup full. You are understanding how important, valuable, loved, cherished, needed, and respected you are. All those adjectives I just mentioned, you never heard any of those things out of the mouth of the narcissist when referencing you. You will get negative things like, you're lazy, you don't do anything, you're worthless, you didn't live up to your potential, you're nothing special. Everybody doesn't think highly of you. You're nobody. You would hear negative things like that. You would never hear things that would build you up. That's why these relationships are a one-way ticket to Destructionsville. That's why these narcissistic relationships benefit one person, which is the narcissist. It is not you. Post-relationship, you have to unwind so many things, so much of the toxic verbal abuse, the emotional abuse, the financial abuse, at times the physical abuse, the spiritual abuse. All of these things must be unwound and processed because it was the narcissist trying to dump or spew their negativity and toxicity into you. And they did that for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship, but they can no longer do it. My hope is that you have gone no contact, etc., and you block these people, maybe even started a new life and relocated and left the environment where you were when you were in the relationship with them, certainly, because that is the path. That's what many of us have to do. But closure, I'm going to jump in right here. The first letter C on closure, it's commitment. You are going to have to be committed to healing. You're going to have to be committed to understanding so many things. You're going to have to be committed to focusing on yourself. Maybe one of the commitments you're having to make right now is, should I block the narcissist? Well, if you've blocked them in the past and it benefited you, and your cup was getting full and you were getting stronger, and then let's say you unblock them for one reason, okay, well maybe now is the time to get committed again and to block the narcissist. Or maybe if you haven't blocked them yet, you realize that blocking them will definitely benefit you on the healing path. But that's just one example. You'll have to be committed to so many things, to journaling, to healing childhood wounds, to seeing a therapist, to meditating, to practicing radical acceptance, which I'll talk about later, to watching videos, to reading, to slowing your life down. You're gonna have to be committed to living a life that does not include the narcissist. Now, again, if the relationship ended recently for you, maybe this is a tough pill to swallow, but I will tell you right now, the narcissist doesn't love you. They didn't love you. They don't love anybody. The only people they care about are themselves. And the narcissist most likely was wearing a mask when you entered that relationship with them, and they were tricking and trapping you and placing you in that zombie-like, trance-like state, the narcissistic fog, where you were the unpaid helper, you were the walking apology, you were the sounding board, you were the person who was pumping up the fragile ego of the narcissist to the detriment of yourself, because you lost your identity. You became an extension of the narcissist and you became a shell of yourself. That is why this is the relationship you must heal from. And to heal from the narcissistic relationship, you will have to be C, which is committed. The next letter on the definitions on closure is going to be learning. You're going to have to really understand that you're going to have to learn so many things. Example, you're going to have to learn what the definitions are in the glossary on the narcissistic abusive cycle. You see, whether you know it or not, you speak the same language that I speak. And no, that's not English or Spanish or Portuguese or a different language. It is the narcissistic abusive cycle. Now, maybe this is the first video you're ever consuming. Well, if that's the case, stick with the path, stay on course, and learn as much as you possibly can. Because when I say you speak the same language as me, what that means is if you've been in a narcissistic relationship and now you're on the channel getting your cup full and getting the wisdom that I'm providing for you, you clearly speak the same language as me. You just may not even know it yet. And why I say that is because you just exited one of the most taxing and toxic relationships known to humankind. That is why you must learn as much about narcissism as you possibly can. Now, I'm not suggesting to watch videos and journal and meditate and do these things 24/7. No, you have to live your life. Maybe you can't even eat food right now. Maybe you can't even have the strength to turn a light switch on. Maybe you're isolated in your own house. Maybe you just realize that all your support system is blown up and you're understanding that not only the narcissist is toxic, maybe there are other people that you've surrounded yourself with. They too are turning out to be not who they claimed to be. Everybody reveals themselves in time. The narcissist did, I am, and you are. And you will understand when the chips are down. If people are there for you, people are there to support you and help you out, that's a great thing, as long as they have your best interest at heart. But most people will scurry like cockroaches in the kitchen when you turn the light switch on at midnight. The reason why they will do that is because many of them want to watch your life implode and grab their popcorn. Many others are the toxic narcissistic people, or worse, that you didn't even know about. And other people would be afraid to help you out because they don't want to be the next target. And then there are just other people that they are silenced by their spouse or their friends because they can't get involved with your current circumstances. So the point being, when you were discarded, and if you were, my heart goes out to you, or if you ended it yourself, my heart goes out to you, you found out rather quickly that there were not many people to support you. So that's L, learning. O is going to be organizing. This is one that many people wouldn't be able to wrap your head around unless you've gone through it. And organizing means this. It means now that the narcissist is out of your life, and now that you are learning so much about narcissism and how it affected you for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship, now you're going to have to restructure your days, your weeks, your months, and your years. And that is going to take organization. You see, when you were in that relationship, you were doing everything for the narcissist. You were on a yo-yo. You were taking really high and dropped really low. You were on a roller coaster of emotions. You couldn't do many things for yourself. And you lost your hobbies, your friends, your status, your money, your network. You lost everything because the narcissist was taking everything they possibly could from you. And they knew it. And now you're understanding that you're going to have to restructure. You're going to have to reorganize your life. Example, maybe now in the past, let's say in the past, maybe you would wake up and you would drive the narcissist to work and make them breakfast and cook them, prepare lunch for them and cook them dinner and take their kids to school, etc., or whatever you would do. But now that all disappears like that. So now you have to reorganize what you do. Now what you do maybe is you wake up and you meditate and you journal and you grab a cup of tea or a glass of water and you just really focus on where you are on the healing path right now. And if where you are right now is where you want to be, then take a deep breath in, be grateful, exhale slowly and say, yes, I made it, I'm here, I'm where I want to be. If where you are right now is not where you want to be, well, there's more work to be done. That's why you're going to have to organize your time. You're going to have to organize your relationships. You will sift through all the relationships that you presently have, and you will be able to identify if any of those serve you or not, meaning not exclusive to the narcissist, but I'm talking fringe people also, maybe acquaintances, maybe siblings, maybe colleagues, coworkers, neighbors. If these people aren't there to benefit you or lift you up or to support you, well, then I suggest maybe you don't have to communicate with them. And a side note, pro tip, just because somebody sends you an email or a text or calls you does not, and I mean not mean that you have to reply, respond, or write back to them. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And when you were with the narcissist, remember, you were giving to a fault. You were a people pleaser. You were a yes person. You could not say no, the strongest word in the English language. Now, post-narcissistic relationship, we have learned to say no, the strongest word in the English language, and we now have boundaries, and we can decline to communicate with somebody, or we can put up a time limit. Example, yeah, I can call you for 15 minutes, but after that I have to go. In other words, we will not be susceptible to the energy vampires or the narcissistic people consuming our energy. So organization or organizing, yes, you'll have to reorganize so many things in your life. And I'll give you another example before I go on to the next letter, which would be maybe you're figuring out where you're going to relocate to. Well, you're going to have to organize that. Maybe you have to sell your house. You have to figure out where you want to move to or put things in storage or not. These are all examples. Some of them are bigger, some are small, but we all have to experience some of these, if not all of them, on the healing path. So now CLOS, studying. By now you've figured out that you're going to have to study a lot of things on narcissism and toxicity and boundaries and relationships and people. And you're learning that not everyone thinks the way you think. You're also learning that many people are perceived to be somebody when they are absolutely somebody different. And these people are scattered all throughout your life. But the point being here is studying humanity and studying humankind. It starts with narcissism, because now you have the craving for the wisdom. You have the yearning for the knowledge. You need to get closure, and you need to understand that how the narcissist infiltrated your life, why you stayed in it so long, how come you kept on trying to fix that relationship over and over and over again, and why you were giving everything you possibly can when the narcissist was giving you absolutely zero. Actually, they were giving you less than zero, because they wanted to knock you out for the count. They did not want you to exist. They wanted to continue to take whatever they could from you, pummel you, crumble you up like a sheet of paper, and throw you away in the freeway. So that's why you have to study. And whether you know it or not, if you're consuming videos hours upon hours, or reading, or journaling, or going back and healing childhood wounds and seeing a therapist, well, what you're doing is you're studying, you're learning, you're spending your time wisely. You are not being taken as a pawn or a puppet and being played by the narcissist. Your energy is now going back into you. And when you get your cup full, you will reach the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, where you no longer care about the narcissist or any people from that period of time. But if you're not there yet, continue moving forward each and every day. Continue to learn, to grow, to teach, to become awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and continue to study. So now I've gone through CLOSU. This is a big one. It's understanding what happened to you in that narcissistic relationship. This is where radical acceptance will come in. You're going to have to practice radical acceptance somewhere along the healing path. Each and every one of us, whether we know it or not, we've either had to practice it or we will have to practice it. And what that is, in a nutshell, is realizing that the relationship with the narcissist wasn't what you wanted it to be. It wasn't what you thought it was. It was what it was, which was a draining, debilitating, taxing, trying, challenging relationship with somebody who did not have your best interest at heart. And to wrap your head around the fact that the person that perhaps you fell in love with or loved couldn't love you, doesn't care about you, doesn't care about anybody, and actually did not have your best interest at heart, that is a very difficult pill to swallow. But keep in mind, the narcissist can be a romantic interest. It can be your sibling. It can be your adult child. It can be your spouse. It can be your friend. It can be your colleague. It can be your mom. It can be the person you're sitting next to at work right now. It can be your boss. The narcissist is everywhere. What they do, though, is that they blend in with society, and they blend in with culture. And that's why the narcissist so frequently is on their smartphones, because they're learning about the latest sporting events or fashion events or what's going on TV or sitcoms or movies, because that's how they blend in. They can communicate on a very surface level with everyday people who are living in the everyday fog. And what do most people in the everyday fog discuss? That's right, they're not discussing narcissism. They're discussing what movies are coming out, or their favorite sports team, or they're discussing perhaps politics, or what's going on in the latest sitcom or TV shows, etc. That's what people do that are in the everyday fog. And no disrespect, I was in the everyday fog for most of my life. But now I've healed, and now I've grown, and I'm learning, and I'm teaching, and I'm focusing on paying it forward, which is what you should be doing once you get your cup full in any capacity you can. So understanding that these people do exist, that they do take advantage of other people, that they do not have the other people's best interest at heart, and I'm referring to the narcissist, and that once they get what they want from somebody, that's when they usually pull back and discard people, or keep them hanging and waiting and pining for them, etc., and leaving the door open a crack. That is why I strongly suggest in almost every video I create to go no contact and to block these people. If you can't, utilize gray rock, simply become dull and boring and get off the radar of the narcissist, but do not be in communication with these people. They don't change, they only deteriorate over time. So now, in the word closure, I've gone through C-L-O-S-U-R. This is going to be research. It goes hand in hand with almost every other letter on this list. Research means you now have the craving, you now have the knowledge, or you're acquiring the knowledge. And what you need to do is keep researching, keep digging, keep going down different rabbit holes of exploration and education, and researching more about not only narcissism, but about who you are, how you were raised, what your childhood was like, what your romantic relationships were like, what your jobs were like, where you lived, who you communicated with and who you didn't, and really researching into yourself is the path. That's what I've done, and that's what I continue to do each and every day, and that's what most people do that I work with during one-on-one sessions. They're researching about narcissism. They're researching into themselves because they have the yearning and the craving for the wisdom. And this is a good thing, because remember, most people on the planet, that are in a narcissistic relationship or are not in one now, but they were in one, they don't find the needle in a haystack. They aren't fortunate like you, and they got the wisdom, or they're getting the wisdom. Most people think that that relationship was their fault, and they are guilty, and they're to blame. And if only they could have done A, B, and C, they could have changed the trajectory of the relationship. If only they had just done a couple more things, they could have stayed in it longer. Well, now knowing what we know, you wouldn't want to stay in a toxic relationship 1 minute longer than you needed to, because now you understand these relationships, i.e. the narcissistic relationships, they are life-threatening. They take you to hell and back on a roller coaster with no seatbelt. You never know what you're going to get when you open the front door. Will it be Dr. Jekyll? Will it be Mr. Hyde? Will you get a rage fit going 100 miles an hour on the freeway? Will you have a glass thrown at your head? Will you be stared at when you're sleeping? You turn over and you look up and there's somebody about 2 feet away from you just staring at you, studying you, looking at you, wondering how they can destroy you? These things and so many more have been experienced. And these things need to be unwound and unraveled. And you need to understand and continue to do research that the narcissistic person, they are shapeshifters. They're energy stealers. They want to crush people with beautiful, bright, shining lights within them. And they wanted to take whatever they possibly could from you, leave nothing behind but you and an empty shell of a person. And they wanted to rip your soul out and rip everything away from you. They did not want you to exist. This is why you must get away from them as fast as possible. This is why you must continue to research. So now I've gone through CLOSURNE, educate/education. This is what I do each and every day. It's my moonshot, it's my calling, it's my passion, it's my drive, it's what I'm committed to. Educating people is the path. And if you can do it in the capacity that I'm doing it in, great. If you can't, don't. But educate people, because become awakened and aware and look around your surroundings. Look and see who is a good person. Look around and see who is authentic or genuine. Open your eyes, take the rose-tinted glasses off and understand the narcissist is everywhere. They are left, right, center. They're in front, behind you. They're on trains, planes, buses, automobiles. They're in classes. They are teaching classes. They're everywhere. But what the narcissist isn't any longer is in your mind. They're not in your proximity. They're not in your purview. They are not in your life. And that is why you really need to get educated and understand that getting away from these people as far from them as you possibly can is the path. Going no contact is the path. Continuing to educate yourself on narcissism. And you may say to yourself, well, I know it all, Andrew. I know as much as I need to know. I'm good. I'm going to unplug and I'm just going to go start living my best life. Well, that is great. That is beautiful. And that's what I have done. But I continue to educate myself each and every day, and I continue to pay it forward to you all in the community every day, because not only is that my calling and my commitment, my moonshot, but it's what I do. It's how my skills stay razor sharp. It's how my spider senses always stay tingling. And so it's so how I know who I want to communicate with or who I do not want to communicate with. And getting educated each and every day, education is not something that when you stop educating yourself, you know it all and you're done. The world is evolving and changing at such a fast rate, and narcissism is growing as well, but so is the educated empath. But you can never stop learning. You can never stop growing. You can never stop teaching. You can never stop researching, studying, being committed, understanding, and educating yourself. That is the path. So an example would be this. Years ago, I stopped watching movies. I stopped cable TV. Don't care about politics. I don't watch movies or the news or sitcoms or any of that nonsense. I've unplugged. I watch YouTube videos and I create them. And on YouTube, I watch educational content. And I learn from other people who are teaching me different things. That's what I strongly suggest you're doing. So example tonight, when you are watching something on TV or Netflix or something, and let's say you could be, and it's kind of mind-numbing, maybe you're sitting around just kind of spacing out, well, just think, is that serving you? Is it benefiting you? If it's not, maybe educate yourself, pick out a new topic. Maybe it's not even narcissism. Maybe it's something about travel or building or creating or something. You see, that's why you must be always on the endless quest for the wisdom, for the education. And that is something the narcissist didn't want you to do. And before I close the video, remember, the narcissist did not want to give you CLOSURE, closure. That is how I opened the video. And that's what I've had to give myself. And my hope is that's what you've either given yourself or you are about to give yourself, because the narcissist will never give you answers to the questions that you're looking for. They will never provide the reality, the truth of who they are. That is why you must give yourself closure. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Closure is a very important thing. It's instrumental on the healing path. You must give it to yourself. You must process so many things. You must be diligent. You must be resilient, committed. You must understand. You must study. You must educate yourself. And you must really, really do the deep dive, not only into the narcissistic relationship, but to the people that surround yourselves with, but to you. Because ultimately, remember, this is your journey. This is your life. Nobody should be stealing your beautiful, bright, shining light or your energy or your time any longer. The narcissist took their best shot at you. They failed, and they failed miserably like they always do. This is now your time. So give yourself closure. If not now, when? And I understand that if the relationship ended for you recently, it will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time you will heal if you utilize the tools that are provided for you on the channel and in the community. Be kind to yourself. Celebrate where you are today, as long as you are not in the narcissistic relationship. And remember that each and every day you are out of the toxicity of the narcissistic relationship is a day you are healing, and you are getting stronger, and you are learning and becoming awakened and aware. And it's another day the narcissist will become smaller and smaller and smaller until eventually they fade away, like a little piece of dust when you dust off your laptop or your monitor. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, everybody, bye.